I have a kitchen sink.
So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole, and that'll be for the drain. It goes down underneath, and then I'll make two smaller holes on the sides that'll be for the PVC pipe. The PEX for the hot and water.
The supply line.
Yeah, the supply lines, and then after that I can hook them up to the sink with this, and I'll put the sink in once I get almost everything else done. So there's no need to put the sink in here and then have to fight. You know, it'd be better to have it out, that way I got a little more room. So, all right, well, here I go. Hopefully I can get through. I may have a little bit of trouble getting down through that other floor. I don't know, this should fit down in there quite a ways, so it should be fine. All right, okay, well, most of the other stuff I'm going to do is going to be mostly underneath the house. Like this is going to, after I get that pipe up, I just go ahead and use 2-inch pipe for everything, even though it's a little more expensive. For everything else in the house except for the toilet, I just go ahead and use 2-inch pipe, and then just use an adapter to go from 1.5 to 2-inch. And
so the 2 inches, like what's the difference? I mean, other than obviously the size, why would you go up? Is it just better quality?
no, for me it's just consistency through everything. I know that everything that's not, it's 2-inch or it's 3-inch. So the drain from the toilet is 3-inch, and then for everything else I just use 2 inches. So like I said, it's a little more expensive, but just to know that, okay, if I've got a T, I know that it's going to be a 2-inch T or a 3-inch T. I can just glance at it. Where if you go back and forth between 1-inch and 2-inch and all of that, or 1.5 inch and 2-inch, sometimes it's hard to see and to know that there's a difference. And one thing, it's probably less likely to get clogged up,
okay.
too. So even though most of your problems are going to be right here, this is the bottleneck. I don't know. I just do it because I think it's convenient.
So how's that going to go in? That part will go at the bottom.
It'll go like this, and there'll be the pipe will come up, and then there'll be a bend. There'll be a 90 degree, and this will just connect right into it.
Oh, okay.
And we'll show that.
Okay, good. So you're going to go downstairs under the house.
Yep. And I'm going to work on getting that all ready, and then get ready to bring a pipe up. So far, probably I'll have to try to calculate how far that needs to be a little bit later, but I've got a little bit of an adjustment here to be able to cut off so much, about a foot, so I can be off by several inches and still be okay, because this connects into this. I'll cut this off, and that connects into that, and then that connects into the back, and this I can cut this off to adjust, and then I can cut this off to adjust it this way, so that gives you a little bit of flexibility. So actually, out of all the plumbing stuff, this is what I was dreading the most, and it's the easiest out of everything I've done. Isn't that funny? I dreaded it thinking that it was going to be really complicated, and it's actually the easiest plumbing thing that I've had to deal with.
Huh.
Yeah. I was really surprised at how easy it was.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back later.
Okay, bye. That just looks a little nicer, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you look up a foot and you see a 2x4, so I don't know if it really matters. But... if there's a lot of silicone, you could probably wipe it up, but if there's not a lot, you could probably wait.
Okay.
Get them all in position, then I'll start locking them down real good. Then you should start seeing the silicone come out quite a bit.
Okay. I have a kitchen sink. Everything looks okay. Supply lines are dry. No leaking from the drain. Hot water works Now let's meet the man behind it all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know it's something you've been waiting for a long time, and of course I couldn't do much about it until the cabinets got here, but once the cabinets got here, I tried to work pretty hard on it, so that way we could get back to a little bit more normal day lives, being able to have a sink, be able to, have dishes, be able to wash dishes properly, not just live on paper plates and stuff like that. Even though we could use a garden hose, that's not real fun to use.
It's really not. It's just inconvenient. So we really haven't, we could have. It would have been primitive, like you're camping or something. We've got the sink. Do you want to talk about some of the challenges that you had?
One of the parts I forgot to get was the sink tailpipe, I think is what it's called. And that is what runs between the sink and the P-trap, so I had to run back to the store and get that. I had forgotten to get that piece. After that, it really wasn't that difficult, except for putting in the sink. I've never put in a sink before, and so there was some clamps that we had to put up between it and the the counter, and that was a little bit of a challenge, especially between here and this. There wasn't a lot of room to get my hands up there, so we had to go get a very long screwdriver.
So that's funny, yeah. So you needed a Phillips, but your Phillips that you had wasn't long enough to reach.
Yeah, we got another one, but the head of it right here wasn't, the point wasn't as good as it needed to be. Actually, it was this screwdriver. This one would have worked. This one was long enough, but the point there wasn't, it was kind of rounded off or a little more square at the end, where this one was more of a point at the tip. So I was able to get this up in there and easily turn this around. This one I couldn't get on the bolts or on the screws very well.
It's funny because we went to Harbor Freight because we knew we needed a screwdriver that had a longer handle. And usually when we go to Harbor Freight, we kind of split up. If there's more than one thing that's needed, he'll tell me what to get on my list, and then he'll have a couple of things. So on my list was the screwdrivers, and he needed one with a longer handle. So at first I saw this green pack, but then I'm like, well, I don't know if that handle is going to be long enough. And then all of a sudden I saw this pack of, I don't know, what do you think that is? Like 2 feet long?
Yeah, probably. It probably says on here 22 inches long.
22 inches long. So yeah, it had one Phillips and one flat. And so really I was just joking, and I'm like, well, how about this? Do you think this is long enough? And he's like, well, it kind of laughed, and he's like, well, it might be. So we got both of them because it was only, $5 or something like that. So luckily we did get the long one, because if we would have just gotten the green pack,
yeah, it wouldn't have
like
worked.
you said, that point of it wasn't quite
it was this
gonna
one
work.
here. I don't know if they can see that or not. But
It's hard to tell. I thought it was a piece of plastic because it's
no.
okay.
No, but
well, I
it's
see
square
that
on
now.
the end instead of more of a tip. So
Anyway, so it looked really funny with you down there with this long screwdriver. Luckily, it fit up from the floor. I thought, well, if it's not that high from the floor, it will be in trouble.
Yeah.
But it worked out, and we made it work, and it's really nice. It's a beautiful sink. I'm glad to have a sink. So we had to have a smaller sink because, of course, we're in a tiny house, so we wanted more counter space. If we would have gotten a full-size sink, which is probably, well, if it's a double sink, it's probably 30 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
We could have gotten that, but it would have cut off more of our counter space, and we want to have more counter space for food prep and things like that. So we got a 24-inch sink. It's 10 inches deep, so it feels like it's pretty good deep, pretty good depth there. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you got the sink in right away. So, Sophie, what do you think of the sink?
I'm hungry. Okay.
It means you can put some food out for me. There's Zoe. She doesn't care. She's just sitting in the chair. All right, well, that is our sink, and it's the most beautiful thing I've seen.
In a while, huh?
In today, anyway, besides you.
Aw, isn't that sweet?
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.